Hello, thank you so much for joining me in this video today. We are going to move away from yoga a little bit today and instead focus on some self-massage and some microfacial release. So today our attention is going completely to our feet. So we're going to have some happy feet and some perky toes. Our feet are obviously so important. They are the smallest bones in our body, and they spend all of their time and energy holding up the entire weight of your body. So a lot of times you might find if you're having back problems or pain in your hips, that might be stemmed all the way down to your feet, because if we have a lot of tension and a lot of injury and a lot of stress down there, that obviously pulls upward and creates a chain reaction throughout our whole body. So we're going to spend some time giving our feet a little love, and we are going to do that with either a massage ball or a tennis ball, or if you like, you can use a lacrosse ball or something else that's about that size and that round shape. If you tend to be a little tender-footed, tennis ball is going to be a little easier on you because it's got a little more give. If you are just really trying to dig in, if you want to feel the pain, go for that lacrosse ball. You can also buy some pretty sweet little massage balls or yoga balls online for super cheap. I got mine on Amazon. Nice and easy. Now, before we start rolling out our feet, I want you to come to standing. Give yourself a couple shoulder rolls or two. Take your feet right under your hips, and we're going to find a big breath in. And then on your exhale, forward fold down to your toes. And just notice how that feels. Do you like how she hears me recording a video and comes in immediately? Notice how that feels, the weight in your hips, the stretch of your hamstrings, the way your feet are feeling on the floor. Notice what your range of motion is. Give it one more breath right here. And we're going to bend our knees and roll on up to standing. Good. Now when it comes to rolling out our feet, you can do it standing, you can do it seated in a chair if you're at the office or at work somewhere. You can always take that seated. But if you want a little more pressure and your full body weight, then we're going to rise to standing. To get us started though, we are going to take that ball under your right foot and we're going to bring it just to your heel. Right at the back edge of your foot, as though it were a high heel underneath you. We're not going to move around yet. We're just going to see how much weight you can tip into that side comfortably. Good. Now you can stand on both feet. You can sit. You can start to tip your weight all the way into that right side. You just feel that little pressure point right there. Good. See if you can give it 2 full breaths, just like this. It might start to be a little tender. It's all right. If it's too much, take some weight out of it. Good. And then just nice and easy, we're going to let our heel rock side to side. Good. So imagine you were stamping out a cigarette and you were smushing it with your toe. That might not be a great visualization for today's age. But if you're like me and you grew up as a musical theater kid, you know all about that little action, right? Just give that a nice little rock side to side. If your ball starts to roll away or you need to adjust, move it forward or back, that's fine. Just feel that energy back and forth, side to side. Good. Give it 2 more breaths. Perfect. We're going to roll that ball up right to the arch of our foot, that center of your arch, the highest point. And again, just let your weight rest down for a moment. Feel that pressure point. Try to keep your weight even from toe to heel, from right to left. We're just tipping to that side if you like. This one might be a little more tender. You might notice there's almost a button or a sweet spot. Just breathe into that space. So the cool thing about our feet is that a lot of our fascial lines converge on the bottom of our feet. So if this were the bottom of my foot, you'd see a fascial line come up and over the top to the center, come up and under the bottom to the center, and then from each direction, right and left, and meet in a little point right in the center of my foot, which is what we're getting at right now with this pressure, which is why it might be a little tender. Good. Now we're just going to take a small circle, nothing too big. Just find that little massage around. Again, not covering the full sole of your foot yet, just that arch, just that center section. Little baby circle. And when you're ready, switch directions. Take that circle the other way. You can hear my joints snap, crackle, and popping on the video. They're pretty loud in real life. Good, good. Now we are going to bring that ball right under the ball of your feet. So right at your, what we would consider our knuckle pads on our hands, but on our feet, across where our toes meet the top of our feet. And again, just press that weight into it first. You might notice that your big toe and your little toe curl around the edges. That's okay, that's good. We're trying to force that stretch up and across that top bridge of your foot. So you'll notice we're moving our way up the foot. We're always starting with that deep pressure and stillness. And then we're going to find a small action just in that space. And then eventually, of course, we'll come to the whole foot up and down. But by moving that direction, we make sure that we're not missing anywhere, that each section of our foot's getting a little bit of love and a little bit of attention. And we're also increasing the flexibility in the bones of our feet. I know we don't often think of our feet as being flexible, but they really do have quite a bit of mobility. So we're working a little bit on increasing that right here. Good, and then when you're ready, again, we're just going to take a right to left rock over those knuckles or those joints, right where your toes meet your feet. You might notice if you come all the way to one side, you get a little more flexibility in your pinky. If you come all the way to the other side, you get a little more flexibility and pressure in your big toe. You can play with it. You can find a spot that maybe needs some more love. You can put more or less weight into your foot. Good. Give it a few more side to side. Imagine you were tap dancing. You can take that toe and that knee back and forth. Good. Now we're going to take that ball all the way under our toes. So if you were coming to a forced arch as high as you could on that foot, but under our toes. And we're going to try and squeeze that ball. So press down, feel your toes spread wide across. You might get your pinky toe down to the mat on one side and your big toe down to the mat on the other, and find all of that separation between the three toes in the middle. It's a big stretch right here. It might be a little uncomfortable at first. We don't stretch our toes that often, unfortunately. And then as you're ready, I want you to grip that ball as tight as you can with your feet, and then let it go, relax down. Good, a couple more. Grip that ball tight, tight. And then let it go, relax. Give it 3 more. Grip and release. Grip and release. Last one, grip and release. Good, now you guessed it, we're gonna take a big long roll all the way from our toes to our heels and back and forth. Again, you're in charge here. Put a little weight, a lot of weight. If you notice that ball gets stuck in a spot, maybe give it a little breath right there. My massage balls are getting a little worse for the wear on me, a little squished. I used them quite a bit. Might be time to invest in some new. Good. And then you can take any other action, any other massage or rolling around you might want. You can take big circles. You can continue front to back. Really, there's no wrong answer here. Try to dig into every nook and cranny. Rotate in and out however you need. We'll give it 2 more breaths. Good. We're going to let that go. We're going to extend our leg in front of us and take some ankle circles. Practice your balance a little bit. Switch directions. And then point your toe as hard as you can and flex it back. Good. One more time. Point and flex. And then spread your toes as wide as you can and then scrunch them in. One more time. Spread and scrunch. And then shake that foot out. Beautiful. Set your foot down right under your hip. Again, come to a standing space. Notice how you feel on right and left side. Notice what's happening in the soles of your feet with your circulation, with inner energy or any tingling. All of those nerves. All of those tendons and ligaments and fascial lines just got rehydrated, really nice. And again, we're going to take another breath in, arms up, and exhale, forward fold. Good. Again, take a little stock of what's happening right and left. Maybe tip your weight forward and back, tip your weight side to side. And we'll bend our knees, we'll roll on up to standing. We're going to take all of that on our opposite side. So that ball is going to come under your left heel. Again, shift as much or as little weight into it as you need. And just find that pressure point first. Good. Sink into that stillness for 4 more breaths. Honestly, this is the hardest part, right? Trying to be still on the ball. We have a tendency to want to roll around on it immediately. We want to see if we can really hit those joints and dig in first. Give it 1 more breath. Good, and then we'll take that gentle rock over your heel, right and left. Stamp out that cigarette. As we move, we want to let our knee move with our ankle. So that action can come all the way up from our hip. That's just to keep our knee safe in that rotation. Good. And notice anything else that's happening in your body while you're here. You might notice your hands start to clench or your jaw starts to clench. You hold your breath. So we're sending all of our focus and our energy down to those feet. We tend to find some stagnation or some clenching in other places in our body when that happens. Good. We're going to bring that ball up right to the center of your arch. Dip your weight over to that side. See if you can find stillness first. Give it 3 more breaths. This side is way more tender than for me. You might notice that one side's a little more than the other. I've had a couple injuries on this left foot and left ankle, so it makes sense that I favor it a little bit. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll start to take those tiny circles just over your arch. Just in that center of your foot, rotating around. Again, as much or as little weight as you'd like into it, into that massage. See, who knew you could be giving yourself foot massages all along. You can save so much money on pedicures now that this video is out there. And switch directions on those circles. If you need, change your weight if you need. We'll take 2 more breaths this direction. Good, and then we're gonna bring that ball right under our knuckles or our joints where our toes meet our feet. That center line below our toes. Right at the ball of your foot. Again, shift as much weight as you can to that side. Now, something to be mindful of here, especially since our toes are lifted, that we don't want to lock this knee out. So you can keep a little bend in that knee we've got over that ball. We don't want to press it way back and hyperextend. I'm going to keep a little softness, a little bounce. Good, and again, we're going to take that right to left, that tap dance, side to side. You can sing little show tunes while you're at it if you like. Something from Chicago's always good with this move. And again, you might start to notice some differences in flexibility side to side and range of motion from side to side. Like I said, this one's a little tenser and has a little narrower range of motion than my right side did. That's okay. That's why we're working on it. Give it 3 more breaths, just like this. One more. Good. We're going to roll that ball up under our toes. See if you can press your pinky toe and your big toe down to the mat. So your center 3 toes are up on the ball. Find that big long stretch right here. This one, if you tip your weight forward a little bit, you'll notice a deeper stretch. If it's too intense, tip your weight backwards. It's going to lessen some of the weight we're pressing into it. And then we're going to clinch and release. So grip your toes as tight as you can and let them go. Give me 4 more. Clinch and release. Clinch and release. Last 2. Clinch and release. Clinch and release. Good. And then we'll find that big long roll all the way from toes to heels. Back and forth. Trying to find the full length of that foot up and down. Like you were rolling it with a rolling pin. When you're ready, you can take that action into circles or any other movement that might feel good on the sole of that foot. If you notice spots that were particularly tender as we were working our way up, you might go back to them, give them a little more pressure, or a little more weight, or bounce into it. That can be a really good tactic too that we didn't touch on, giving yourself just a little bounce in that weight, a little pulse point. Good. We're going to take about 5 more big breaths, finding that full length of your foot, finding all of those little nooks and crannies that need a little extra attention. Give it 3 more. Again, notice that stress. Did you see what I was doing with that arm? We got to relax. Let it go. Good. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. We're going to extend that leg nice and long. Take some ankle circles. Practice your balance. And switch directions. Good. See if you can point your foot as hard as you can. And flex it back. And point. And flex and spread your toes and scrunch them. And spread your toes and scrunch them. And then shake everything out. And then set that foot down right underneath your left hip. Again, notice right and left. Notice side to side. How do you feel? How does that feel translated all the way up your body, into your knees and into your hips? And then find a big breath in, arms high. And exhale, forward fold. Last time, we'll take that little bitty rock back and forth, or side to side. And then we'll bend our knees, we'll roll on up to standing. Good. As a little bonus, we're going to drop down to a seat if you're not already in a chair. We're going to take one foot into your hands and just press onto that center point of our foot. Nice and easy. The same way we were bouncing on that ball, we're just going to give it a little pulse in and out. Good. See if you can give it about 10 to 20 pushes, like you were pushing a button. And then once you've done that, if you like, you can take little circles. Then we're going to take what my teacher referred to as a yogi handshake. So imagine you were holding hands with your partner or someone you loved, and your fingers are interlaced. We're going to do that with our feet. So we're going to bring a finger between each toe. So we've got that nice solid grip on our feet. If you're at work, maybe not the time or place for this one. But squeeze your toes as tight as you can with your hands and then pull away and give it a little shimmy. So if we were on our hands, we'd squeeze tight and pull away, giving a little shimmy. Just spread those toes out. If you like, you can start to make some circles with your ankles. Give them a little shake. And then we'll let it go. Give yourself one more squeeze and switch sides. Coming to that center point of your foot, press into that button and continue to push that button. Give it about 10 to 20 presses. As hard or as soft as you like, whatever intensity is right for you. And then after that, we'll take those little circles, those little massage circles right at the center of your foot. And then we'll come to that yogi handshake. So a finger is going to come between all of our toes. Give it a good strong grip and then wiggle and shake as we pull it out. Good, again. Find that little bit of movement, that little bit of tension release as we grip on those toes. And if you like, you can take some ankle circles, some movement right here. Good, and we'll let that go. And if you're in a space where you can, you might want to drop down to your backs. Send your toes to the ceiling. And again, take a couple more ankle circles. So anytime we get a joint above our heart, it's good for fighting inflammation, for reducing swelling. So if you tend to be a person whose feet are swollen by the end of the day, especially when it's really hot out, coming home and putting your legs up or putting your feet up can be really, really great for those joints and for that inflammation. So it's not just an adage to kick your feet up, it's actually really great for us. Good, we're going to ride our bicycle on the ceiling for a breath. And see if we can ride backwards. And then we're going to look really silly. Shake those legs, shake your toes, shake everything out like you just got zapped or electrocuted. And then give yourself a great big hug. Good, we'll come on up to a seat. And if and when you're ready, we'll find ourselves all the way back to standing. And just notice how good those feet feel. And in turn, how good the rest of you feels. Just for giving yourself a little bit of attention and a little bit of love. And really saying thank you to our beautiful, beautiful feet who carry us through each and every day. I appreciate you so much joining in with me. Please let me know how you feel, what you liked, what you didn't like. Did it feel how you expected it to? I cannot wait to hear from you. Divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.